Hello, welcome to another podcast with me. This is hashtag Mr. Uff TV, and you can see the Twitter handle for our school Twitter right there. A bit of a cold at the moment, but hopefully you'll be able to hear and take note of what we're talking about. This is 1.15, part of the GCSE Edexcel papers, and this one is about diet and exercise. Okay, so these are the objectives that we're looking to try and get through to you today. Look at this first slide. Move this mouse out of the way here. Okay, it's basically the link between exercise, diet, work, rest is very, very important. Okay, and this would attribute to your personal health and well-being. You need to be both physically and mentally fit to be able to work or play or whatever you need to do. And a balanced diet is key to that. Okay, so carbohydrates, fats, proteins, vitamins, minerals, water, and fibre. And we'll go on to that in a little bit. Okay, the harder the work you need to do, okay, the more energy you are required. For example, if you were a labourer, such as a builder on a building site, you would need to have more calories because you'd burn more energy than somebody that possibly was working behind a desk all the time. So that's something that you need to be aware of, and it makes sense. It is common sense. The more work you do, the more energy that you need. Okay. That's possibly why you see so many lorry drivers, long-distance lorry drivers, overweight. They're eating the same amounts of food as others, or possibly their diet is poor, and then obviously they're sat behind the wheel and they're not burning those calories. So they should be thinking about different types of diets, really. Hopefully you're aware that the energy that's in food is called calories. Okay, so how many calories you put in, you need to burn off. It's very, very simple. It's very simple maths. What you put in, if you burn off more than what you put in, you'll lose weight. If you burn off less than what you put in, then you'll put on weight. Okay, if you burn off the exactly same amount, your weight will maintain. Okay, sports performers need to eat often very regularly and often the right types of foods. Lots of people get confused when you see young people looking at diets, okay, trying to lose weight. They tend to starve themselves. This is the wrong way to do things. To actually lose weight, you need to eat regularly, but you need to eat the right foods. A couple of magazines that I read or pay attention to, such as Men's Health, 75% of weight management is diet. Okay, yes, exercise is very important. It looks after your body systems, maintain your weight, maintain your health, your physical and mental health. But 75% of weight management is all about diet. So that's very important. Exercise provides for fitness to be able to carry out tasks without becoming tired. That is true. Okay, the more exercise you do, okay, the less fatigued you will feel. Okay, now obviously if you do lots and lots of exercise, you do need to build in rest periods as well, but if you do exercise, you will feel better about yourself, okay, because due to serotonin be released in the brain, but also your body naturally will feel a little bit more awake. So that's important to know as well. And we just already talked about rest periods. Okay, they're important to build in. If you think that back to the last podcast, you need to build rest periods to allow your body to adapt, okay, repair and grow again. But it is very, very important that you build all of these things here into your lifestyle, okay? Exercise, diet, work and rest. This will allow you to perform at your optimum level. And in the news at the moment, or certainly in sports news, people like Roberto Martinez and the head teacher here at the college, okay, often talk about making sure you get the right amount of sleep. I read an article in The Independent recently that's saying that teenagers of 14, 15, 16 years of age should be getting a minimum of 9 hours sleep, okay? That's probably more than you are actually getting. Okay, this is basically a balanced diet, very, very simple. The bits underlined are the important bits, but we're looking at, you do need to have all the right parts of a balanced diet to make sure that you do not suffer from health problems. I talked about this when we did some training on the weekend with the 10 Tools teams. You know, there are people who are often ill, students, teachers, adults, whatever, and there are people who are often not ill, okay? That can be for various things, but the things I believe it boils down to: diet. The people who are often in school and are not ill, their diet is good, and I mean balanced. That doesn't mean they don't eat the naughty foods, okay, but their diet is balanced. They don't eat too much of them. They eat the right amounts of fruit and veg, and they get the right amounts of vitamins and water. Water is so important. I know there was a bit of research 4 or 5 years ago that they'd linked 90% of teacher illness to dehydration. Yes, there are other contributions as well, but 90% was due to dehydration is very important. I know myself now I'm dehydrated. Okay, my water bottle is empty, and I should be drinking more water. And it's very important. It also helps you to function, makes you feel more awake, and it also helps you maintain your weight or improve weight loss. Okay, so that's quite important. So the healthier you are, the better your diet. Okay, and if you do exercise, those people tend to be healthier and have less health problems. Okay, that's very general. I know there are specifics, there are things about that, but that's what we're looking at. Okay, and vice versa. If you don't look after your diet and you don't exercise, those people tend to become poorly. Really good quote I saw on Twitter was, and it made me sort of giggle to myself. Really, he said, I don't have time to exercise. And I often say that, okay, I don't have time to exercise. And the quote said, if you can't find an hour to exercise, I hope you can find 24 hours to be unhealthy. And that is true, okay? For just an hour's exercise will make a big difference to your lifestyle. Very important quote, I think. And finally, this section down here, these are all the components, if you like, the elements of a balanced lifestyle. Carbohydrates, fats, protein, vitamins, minerals, water, and fibre, as we mentioned at the beginning. Very important. They can be split down into areas, okay? So this area is called macronutrients, and these are the main things that you need in a diet, and they're carbohydrates, fats, and proteins. Carbohydrates, as it says here, are the major source of energy. They are fast release, and they're broken down into two things: simple carbohydrates and complex. Complex are the ones you want, okay? Starchy stuff, bread, pasta, potatoes. They're the ones that you eat your carbo load with. You eat the day before or 2 days before. They go into your body. They're stored in your body, in your muscles as glycogen. Excuse me. And they're used. That's one of the ones athletes use a lot. My unhealthy cough here. Simple carbohydrates are your sugars from sweets and what have you. They're the things that you see people taking on just before an event. So you sometimes see athletes taking a few sweets just before an event, or tennis players having a quick bun out, because they get that those energies are put into the body very quickly and are used up very quickly as well. The problem, if you eat lots of these, you tend to spike. Let's see where the camera is. Okay, you'll go up very quickly, but at the same time they'll run out very quickly. Okay, with these they'll go up more slowly. All right, but they'll last longer. Okay, and that's key, especially if you're doing endurance events or real high-level professional football or professional games events. Okay, lots of athletes will have their diet based on these. The problem is they're obviously high in calories because they have lots of energy. So if you don't burn them off, you'll end up putting on weight. Okay, as it says here, this is stored as glycogen, but that glycogen needs to be used. Okay, otherwise it is going to eventually turn to fat. Okay, fats and proteins, two other macronutrients. Sorry, I'll go back to that one. Fats and proteins. Our bodies originally were designed to burn fat, and fats are very, very important. Okay, they're a slow release of energy, and they are an insulator for the body, certainly in warmth. Okay, you have to be very careful that you don't put on too much fat, because fat, certainly around the abdomen, has been linked to cardiac diseases. Foods, dairy products are very heavy in fats, and you should have fat in your diet, but you just need to be aware of what you're eating, and make sure that your fat percentage isn't too high. Excess fat can then lead to problems such as obesity. Protein is very, very important. Lots and lots of athletes take a great deal of protein, and really it's because it helps repair and grow the muscles and bones that are being damaged or used during physical activity. And again, protein can come from two areas: animal protein and dairy products. So you can read that yourself, but an extremely important source and a nutrient that is required is protein. The other areas are macronutrients, and that's your vitamins, minerals, water, and fibre. And the vitamins are here. There are various vitamins. You can read that in your own time. But these are they make up a small amount of the diet, but are key. Okay, they're building blocks, if you like. If you don't have these things, you will then become, you will catch colds. You will be poorly. Your blood will be low in iron. Things like that. Okay, which will then affect your general health. Okay, so it's very important that you get these things. Lots of people will take supplements. Now, personally, if you get your diet right, you won't need supplements. It's all about getting your diet right. If your diet is right and balanced, you will not need supplements or protein shakes or anything like that. Get your diet right first. The minerals here, calcium and iron, we just talked about that. Iron for your blood to make sure that your blood cells function properly, and calcium that help form your teeth and your hair, but also can help repair your bones as well. Okay. Water, I've already talked about it. Very, very important. Dehydration is a real issue. You need to really stay on top of that. Okay. Very, very important if you're an athlete or not. Okay. People probably, on the whole, do not drink as much water as they should do. And fibre is good for the digestive system. Whole grains, as you should hopefully know, and bread and cereal look after the body and your digestive systems. The timing of when these things are taken are very important, because it can lead to something called blood shunting, which is down here. Okay. Basically, most foods should be eaten a minimum of 2 hours before exercise. Carbo loading takes place 2, maybe 3 days before an event, normally 48 hours, okay, where the food, the complex carbohydrates are taken into the body, they are then digested and they're transferred to the liver and muscles, and that's where they're stored ready for the activity. Again, you can read through this section in your own time. Okay, if you eat too close to an event or your body is full, what happens is the blood will move away from the stomach, okay, to the areas that are being used. So a marathon runner or an endurance athlete, the blood will move away from the stomach to the areas, the muscles in the arms and the legs. Therefore, the body's going, right, I've got a foreign substance in my body, I need to get rid of it. And that's why possibly you'll get stomach cramps, you could vomit, you could need the toilet, and it just wants to get rid of that because the body wants to get rid of the foods because it doesn't have the time to digest it, because the blood is needed elsewhere. And this is what this blood shunting is. The blood is moved away from those systems to the areas that it's required. Also, at the same time, if you eat too close, the blood might stay at the stomach, which means that you don't have the energy, okay, you don't have the blood or the systems required to be able to perform at an optimum level. Okay. Hopefully you've learned something from that podcast. Okay. Thanks for watching. You've been watching #MrFTV. Stay tuned. #Mint.